One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. So let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. The rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have a wild morning ahead of us, so let's get right into it, man. Great to see everyone, and happy Monday morning. As you guys can see, what we have titled here, Hormuz Strait Blockade begins, and that is supposedly starting just as of an hour ago. 10 a.m. Eastern is when the blockade from the United States comes into play. And then we have Orban loses. Now that is the prime minister, was the prime minister of Hungary. And he actually just got beat. And we have that some of that footage for you guys. We're not going to play a lot of it. Obviously, they're speaking in their language. And then their translation is kind of lame, to be honest. So I may just tell you guys that it happened. And then we have also global headlines. So let me go ahead and give you guys a chronological breakdown of what we're looking at this morning. We're going to be starting not really from Friday, Saturday, or any of that. We're actually getting a lot of our news coverage from Sunday, which was yesterday, obviously, and leading into today. So we have U.S. and Iran end ceasefire talks without agreement, and they are blaming each other. And of course, I knew that was going to happen. You guys knew that was going to happen, and it's understandable. They both came in thinking they both had the leverage, and usually that doesn't turn out to like someone conceding, right? So anyways, we have Trump directs U.S. Navy to blockade the Strait of Hormuz after peace talks stall. And then we have Trump's Iran blockade announcement sparks oil price surge. Of course it did. Of course. And then Trump on Pope. Trump says, I don't think he's doing a very good job.
Bruh.
Yo, that just came out 4 hours ago. Talking with reporters Sunday night, President Trump said he didn't care if Iran returned to the negotiating table after weekend discussions failed to yield a deal. He also criticized the Pope, saying, quote, he likes crime, I guess. Very, very interesting. We got just 3 hours ago, Strait of Hormuz blockade just hours away, which now we're already 1 hour into it. And of course, if I get any of these updates while we're live streaming, of course, I'll give them to you guys. What we can expect from the Strait of Hormuz blockade, that's one of the segments. And then one of the last ones is Trump reacts after Navy begins blockade of Iranian ports. Now, this just came out 29 minutes ago, so that would make sense. We've only been in the blockade for an hour. We have one update since the blockade became into effect, and we're looking at that from 29 minutes ago. So anyways, Before we get all into it, let's go ahead and do our call to actions and all that stuff, and then we'll get right into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button and double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it, and it's absolutely free to do so, by the way. Also, hit the subscribe button. This is what we do Monday through Friday, and then, of course, Saturday morning is members only, man. And speaking of members only, please consider becoming a member, starting only at $3.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves, as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, as well as the campaign trail, man. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one, and we also have a Discord server for all of you legends to continue the conversation as soon as we're done. We only live stream for about an hour a day. So we continue the conversations in the Discord. We have the invite link down below in the video description of any live video that we're doing on Insane Wheels. We have the invite link for you guys. Join up. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen, and at any time you guys can donate to those, and I can get 100% of the proceeds. And of course, I'll read out loud anything that comes our way. I have it, on my phone here. I'll be scanning, and I'll read it out loud just like a super chat. All right, real quick, we got Sterling Will coming in with the gifted membership, my man. I very much appreciate that. Not only helping me, but helping someone else in the IWF. And Virginia Chaos as well, coming in and gifting another membership as well. Very much appreciate you guys. All right, good to see all of you guys. Hopefully you all had a phenomenal weekend. I definitely know that I did. I had a great birthday weekend, and thank you guys for celebrating with me and wishing me happy birthday and all that stuff. I'm very honored by that. We got Gary in the building. Shout out to you, as well as chatting with Stacks, my man. Good morning. We got Rob's neighbor as well, which is Carrie over there. We got Jimmy Mack as well as KP. Good morning to you guys. We got Brother Beezer in the building as well as Cameron. Shout out to you. Good morning to you. Good Monday. Absolutely. We got Liquored Up with Poncho as well. Good morning to you. We got Sterling Well saying, good morning, kids. Absolutely. We got Sick Bastard. And by the way, I think he even rated us this morning. Let's fucking get it. I very much appreciate the support there, Sick Bastard. We got Brother Dean Savage over there in Israel. Always appreciate you as well. Pet your Lucy, Mike. Dang it. Trust me, that's what I do all day long with her. Okay, so trust me. She's one freaking... attended to cats, I promise. We got Al Patterson in the building as well. Great to see you in the building, as well as Virginia Chaos. Good morning to you guys. We're rolling our way down as fast as possible. We got Hillbilly Hank, my man. Great to see you. The great news anchor in the world. It's Mike Ball. Very much appreciate you. Good morning. We got Brother Hardwire in the building, as well as Huggy. Good morning to you guys. We got Easy Frank. Shit. Mr. Al Patterson coming in and gifting out 5 gifted memberships. Get it. My man, that is humongous. I very much appreciate that. And thank you for helping not only me, but 5 others in the IWF, man. I very much appreciate that. We got KNT. Good morning to you as well. We got Philectric. I see you as well as 5150. Good morning to you guys. All right, let's go ahead and pretty much get right into all the craziness of the world this morning. We're going to go ahead and start it off with U.S. and Iran end ceasefire talks without agreement, and they are blaming each other. Now, yes, I do know that this came out yesterday. We have 2 stories to give us a chronological update, basically, to where we are in current times today. So this is when they had a 21-hour meeting, by the way, 21-hour meeting, and over there in Pakistan, and they didn't come to any type of agreement. So they're blaming each other. They both came to the table thinking that they have the leverage, and that's what happens here in positions like this.
Do want to start with developments from overnight regarding the negotiations and the peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. Taking a look at a social media post courtesy of the Associated Press, it says breaking. Vice President J.D. Vance says talks between the U.S. and Iran have ended after 21 hours.
Yeah, but Vinny, these are new developments happening. So the Strait was blocked, basically shut down from the Iranians. And now what's happening is those few ships that are passing through per day is like 5 ships, 6 ships per day compared to the 50 before, back in February when everything was open. So those 5 or 6 ships that are going in and out that are approved by Iran is basically going to, Well, on each end is going to be the United States. Well, anything going in or out at the opening right there is going to be basically taken. You know, it's kind of like what you're going to be seeing, what we had saw if we have the correct resources, what we saw in Venezuela, kind of like what with us taking over their ships, boarding them, taking over their ship. You know, it's going to be very similar in that aspect. So this is going to be all coming in within the coming days, guaranteed. But this has just happened just an hour and 9 minutes ago. So this was the official timeline that Trump had set over the weekend.
Without reaching an agreement. Want to bring us out to a live image that we have at the White House over in Washington, D.C. as I read some of the latest reporting, courtesy of the Associated Press. The major developments are this.
Yes, and that might be true. That might be true right there.
That Vice President Vance, who led the U.S. delegation during the 21 hours of talks in Pakistan's capital of Islamabad, said negotiations finished without a deal after the Iranians refused to accept American terms to refrain from developing a nuclear
Yo, Sterling, I got it for you.
Why are you gay?
Shit.
weapon. In one of the first reactions from Iran, Foreign Ministry spokesperson there said the talks fell apart over, quote, a gap between our opinions over 2 or 3 important issues. Meanwhile, the U.S. says its destroyers moved through the Strait of Hormuz. Speaking of, we do have a live look at the radar system, courtesy of Marine Traffic.
And that was from yesterday, by the way.
Taking a look here at some of the movement there, or
I actually have the very current movement. If you know, since they're showing current movements, I have the current actual movements right here, live right this second. So this is live right this second, and this is what we're seeing within the strait right now. And no, there is no movement. If there was movement going through here, what you guys would end up seeing is kind of like what this is looking like. You see how this strait down here by Yemen, how they're just side by side going in and out, in and out. You know, this is what it would look like, the shipping lane, if it were open, but it's not, and everything is a clusterfuck over here right now. So that's what we're looking at currently. All right, let's go ahead and move on and get back into the video here. Sorry for the little deviation. Just had to show you guys what we're currently looking at.
thereof at the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the U.S. military said that 2 destroyers transited the Iran-gripped strait ahead of mine-clearing work, a first since the war began. Iran, however, has denied that. And negotiations between Israel and Lebanon are expected next week in Washington. Taking a look also at
Mafioso, hey, very much appreciate that. Thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning so far.
a live image that we have in Beirut, Lebanon, where last week we saw quite a lot of activity, given the fact that the Israeli military continued to attack.
What's up, Miss Lotus? Great to see you, by the way. And yes, this is, of course, going to be one of the contention points about the ceasefire. Of course, as you guys know, is Hezbollah/Lebanon involved in this? Yes or no? Of course, you guys know how that played out.
What they're saying are Hezbollah infrastructure sites and targets there across Lebanon. A lot of the strikes we saw here in the capital, Beirut, all of the smoke out there in
Don't make me laugh over there, Dean. Don't make me laugh.
the distance. Hundreds of people were killed because of those strikes. Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Thursday he had approved direct talks, while the Lebanese president said Friday that negotiations between Israel and Lebanon are expected to begin on Tuesday. So again, that is just looking ahead to next week as some of these escalating conflicts continue there in the Middle East, primarily with the Strait of Hormuz, also the situation happening down there in Lebanon. I want to go back, though, to that first topic that I touched on, which is the fact that Vice President Vance did say that those peace talks ended in Pakistan without a deal being reached. Going a little further
After 21 hours, by the way.
on with this reporting. Now, U.S. officials said the negotiations collapsed over what they described as a wrong.
If I negotiated for 21 hours straight and I got nothing out of it, I'd be pissed. And yes, brother KP knows the deal, by the way.
refusal to commit to abandoning its nuclear program, while Iranian officials blamed the U.S. for talks breaking down without specifying the sticking points. Neither side indicated what would happen after the 14-day ceasefire expires on April 22nd. Pakistani mediators urged all parties to maintain it. Both said their positions were clear and put the blame on the other side, underscoring how little the gap had narrowed throughout the talks. Vice President Vance did issue some short comments after those negotiations ended. It's new this morning, and we want to play that for you next.
All right, we'll listen to this. I remember hearing this yesterday. I listened to this yesterday in all transparency.
Well, good morning, everybody. And let me say a couple of notes of appreciation. First of all,
Steve
to the Prime
Witkoff.
Minister of Pakistan and to Field Marshal Munir, who were both incredible hosts. And whatever shortcomings in the negotiation, it wasn't because of the Pakistanis who did an amazing job and really tried to help us and the Iranians bridge.
And they hosted it. They all stayed in the same hotel, the same luxurious hotel over there in, it's totally interesting, but over there in Pakistan.
The gap and get to a deal. We've been at it now for 21 hours.
Junkyard knows the deal. We live, baby. Absolutely great to see you in the chat, by the way. Make sure you guys get the likes up. Double tap the screen for the vertical side. Very much appreciate it.
And we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement. And I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States.
It's bad news all the way around, homie.
Having not come to an agreement, we've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could. And they have chosen not to accept our terms. Questions?
Questions?
Nicholas from CNN. Precisely what have they rejected here? Can you help us understand it a little bit?
Well, I won't go into all the details because I don't want to negotiate in public after we negotiated for 21 hours in private. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations. Again, their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. But the simple question is, do we see a fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years from now, but for the long term? We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will. Jen.
Was there a framework on anything? And also, did the Iranian frozen assets come up, and did you reach any conclusions on those frozen assets?
We talked about all those issues, Jen.
We basically talked about all these issues, but got nowhere.
And we talked about a number of issues beyond that. And so certainly those things came up. But again, we just could not get to a situation where the
Here, I got you.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
Iranians were willing to accept our terms. I think that we were quite flexible. We were quite accommodating. The president told us, you need to come here in good faith and make your best effort to get a deal. We did that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to make any headway. Preston.
Mr. Vice President, how often did you communicate with President Trump throughout the negotiations? There were reports that there were multiple rounds where there were breaks in between negotiations. How often did you communicate with the president throughout those rounds, and what was he saying as you were going through these negotiations that you said fell short?
Yeah, obviously we were.
Yeah, Cameron, no kidding. Our 15 points, their 10 points, that side's 10 points, that side's 10 points. It's like, Jesus.
We were talking to the president consistently. I don't know how many times we talked to him, a half dozen times, a dozen times over the past 21 hours. We obviously also talked to Admiral Cooper, to Pete, to Marco, to the entire national security team. We talked to Scott Bessent a number of times. So look, we were constantly in communication with the team because we were negotiating in good faith. And we leave here and...
Hey, VC, that's very true, by the way.
We leave here with a very simple proposal, a method of understanding that is our final and best offer. We'll see if the Iranians accept it. Thank you.
Oh, we'll see if they accept it. Thank you. And he's just like, all right, see you, motherfuckers. All right, we're going to move on because we're going to catch up to current time. This next report is also from yesterday. We're not going to necessarily listen to the entire thing, but we just got to get ourselves, we have to get ourselves through the chronological timeline in order to get to present time, okay? So let's go ahead and bring this up real quick, and we'll go ahead and get right into it. So Trump directs U.S. Navy to blockade Strait of Hormuz after peace talks stall. And this was when we first heard about it through the mainstream, quote-unquote. This is yesterday.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, as we are taking a live look here at this radar system showing us some of the disruptions and some of the vessel traffic there at the Strait of Hormuz. Now, I bring up this specific live look because we do have some breaking news to report on this Sunday. President Trump has officially issued a statement regarding those U.S. and Iran talks in Pakistan that have officially ended with no peace deal reached. I want to take us out to a social media post courtesy of Trey Yingst. He is a Fox News correspondent. He says this: President Trump has ordered a naval blockade to the Strait of Hormuz. And we also have that statement that was issued via President Trump's Truth Social.
Now, that's coming out from Trey Yingst over there in Tel Aviv, Israel, by the way. He's a Fox reporter.
Count. Now, it's quite lengthy, but I do want to read it to you in full. And I know the text is a little small, but again.
Yeah, this is one of those big posts over there from Donald Trump, so I'll go ahead and allow her to read this uninterrupted without me saying anything.
I will be reading this in full. So it says this, that Iran promised to open the Strait of Hormuz, and they knowingly failed to do so. This caused anxiety, dislocation, and pain to many people in countries throughout the world. They say they put mines in the water even though all of their navy and most of their mine droppers have been completely blown up. They may have done so, but what ship owner will want to take the chance? This is a great dishonor and permanent harm to the reputation of Iran and what's left of their leaders. But we are beyond all of that. As they promise, they better begin to process of getting this international waterway open and fast. Every law in the book is being violated.
What's up, Pablo? Good morning.
By them. I have been fully debriefed by Vice President J.D. Vance, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner on the meeting that took place in Islamabad through the kind and very competent leadership of Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan. They are extraordinary men and continuously thank me for saving 30 to 50 million lives in what would have been a horrendous war with India. I always appreciate hearing that. The amount of humanity spoken of is incomprehensible. The meeting with Iran began early in the morning and lasted throughout the night, close to 20 hours. I could go into great detail and talk about how much that has been gotten, but there is only one thing that matters. Iran is
What's up, Blue Collar? Good morning and happy Monday. Great to see you in the chat.
Unwilling to give up its nuclear ambitions. In many ways, the points that were agreed to are better than us continuing our military operations to conclusion. But all of those points don't matter compared to allowing nuclear power to be in the hands of such volatile, difficult, unpredictable people. My 3 representatives, as all of this time went by, became, not surprisingly, very friendly and respectful of Iran's representatives, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, Abbas Arghachiri, and Ali Bagheri. But that doesn't matter because they were very unyielding as to the single most important issue. And as I have always said, right from the beginning and many years ago, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. That statement does continue, and I have the other part here posted up on the screen.
Damn, it continues. Jesus.
A few moments later.
He says, so there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed to, but the only point that really mattered, nuclear, was not. Effective immediately, the United States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. At some point, we will reach an all being allowed to go in, all being allowed to go out basis. But Iran has not allowed that to happen by merely saying there may be a mine out there somewhere that nobody knows about but them. This is world extortion, and leaders of countries, especially the United States of America, will never be extorted. I have also instructed our Navy to seek and interdict every vessel in international waters that has paid a toll to Iran. No one who pays an illegal toll will have safe passage on the high seas. We will also begin destroying the mines the Iranians laid in the straits.
So any other country that Iran is being able to sell the quote-unquote illegal, now this is being from Trump's nomenclature, illegal toll, which is $1 per barrel, by the way. It's not just a flat fee of $2 million. For the cargo ships, it's $1 per barrel. Now, a lot of these ships hold anywhere from 1.5 million up to 2.3 million barrels of oil within. So that's how they kind of calculate that with at least the tankers. But nonetheless, so now Trump is saying if any of those countries do pay the $2 million toll, that's an illegal toll and we're going to stop you.
The Iranian who fires at us or at peaceful vessels will be blown to hell.
They'll be blown to hell. Damn. So not even just stopped and taken over, but blown to hell.
How to end the situation, which has already devastated their country. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone.
What's up, Doomerang? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. And we got Steve Posey saying late but in attendance. Great to see you, bro. Good morning to you guys.
Aircraft and radar are useless. Khomeini and most of their leaders are dead, all because of their nuclear ambition. The blockade will begin shortly. Other countries will be involved with this blockade. Iran will not be allowed to profit off this illegal act of extortion. They want money, and more importantly, they want nuclear. Additionally, and at any appropriate moment, we're fully locked and loaded, and our military will finish up the little that is left of Iran. President Donald J. Trump.
Damn. That was a bomb.
So that is the most recent social.
And of course, we are going to move on into our chronological stage. That was from yesterday, by the way. Now, this is also from yesterday, right after that announcement happened from Trump, right? Trump's Iran blockade announcement sparks oil price surge. Bruh. Just nonstop, bro. We got to embrace our fuck-ups. You know what I mean? We haven't done that yet. We just definitely got to embrace our fuck-ups.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Shit. All right.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. We're following the latest developments out
up,
of
John
the
Givens?
Middle East after the failed negotiations between the United States and Iran. President Trump saying there will be immediate blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, that so very vital energy choke point. And earlier on today, he's talking about some of the potentially surge of gas prices, as you can see here from Katie Rogers, New York Times, saying on Fox, President Trump was asked if gas and oil prices might be lower by the midterm elections. President Trump says, I think so. It could be the same or maybe a little bit higher. It should be around the same. That after the blockade.
Yeah, it's only going to, I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest. It's only going to get worse from here until it gets settled. That's really what's going to happen. So I don't necessarily even see it being the same. I see it going up from here. Now, the actual average right now is just hit over $4 on average in the United States, what it's being sold for. So over $4 now, man. We need to get back down to the twos. That'd be nice. You know what I mean? Like we lived the two life for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it went whoop right back up.
Coming down from the president saying that they are going to close down the Strait of Hormuz due to these failed negotiations, saying the U.S. Navy will begin the process and all and any ships trying to enter or leave the
That's right, Carney. Appreciate you, by the way. Good
Strait
morning.
of Hormuz. Let's discuss this here on Live Now from Fox. Chief Energy Advisor at Gulf Oil, friend of the program, Tom Clausa. Tom, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And we expected oil to go up following this announcement. Where do we stand right now?
We're up by about $8 to $9. There's limited liquidity, but the Asian buyers are back in, and we're looking at 10 to 20 cent increases for refined products, gasoline and diesel.
And obviously, this is potentially expected as there
What's up, Motobomb, Virginia? Good morning and happy Monday. Great to see you in the chat, bro.
will be limited movement, even less so than we saw over the last month plus of what's going on. Is this what we could expect? And if there's a prolonged stoppage, a prolonged blockage, how might that impact?
Well, that's really the question. We haven't dealt with blockades in a while, and it could be that the blockade actually leads to some sort of a result which is very palatable for the Western countries. But right now, the thought is that we're not going to be seeing that minimal sort of exiting of the Persian Gulf. So crude oil is going to move higher. It's been physically around $120 or higher for a while. And we're probably looking at, that little retreat in gas prices and diesel prices we saw at the end of last week. It's probably more of an interregnum as opposed to a trend.
All right. I just wanted to get into that because we saw, obviously, gas prices tumble after the ceasefire coming together, hope and optimism that there might be something. Are you saying that it's less so that was just a blip, that was not a part of the larger trend line?
Yeah, that was not a lasting downtrend. We need to get the oil exits restored, or else, it's like the boat that keeps leaking water and you're bailing it out, but it's coming in quicker than you're bailing it out right now. And that's what we're looking at. Gasoline prices got to about $4.12 in the country. They'll probably kind of, flatten out here for a while, but they'll probably go higher as we get closer to.
That's exactly what I said. All right, we're going to move on. So you guys know that, of course, oil went up a little bit after this whole blockade announcement came out. So anyways, so now we have Trump. He made a comment on the Pope, I guess. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Trump on the Pope. I don't think he's doing a very good job. Oh, shit. All right.
President Trump did speak to reporters
I got a question for this guy.
Why are you gay?
All right, back to this.
Night during a gaggle as he landed in Washington, D.C., coming from Florida. We want to listen in to the president's comments now.
And I watched this happen last night, by the way. This was last night.
With regard to the Strait of Hormuz, and a lot of good things are happening for our country. It's been very strong. We had some tremendous numbers released economically on jobs and everything else, and things are going very well.
How is the ceasefire holding, Mr. President?
Say it?
Ceasefire holding.
I would say it's holding well. Their military is destroyed. Their whole Navy is underwater. You know that. 158 ships are gone. Their Navy's gone. Most of their mine droppers are gone. We have a lot of people, as you know, at 10 o'clock tomorrow, we have a blockade going into effect.
And as you guys know, that was as of just an hour and a half ago, was when the blockade officially became into effect. No, actually, I'm sorry. Just, it was an hour and a half ago. So that's when the blockade became into effect today.
It'll be 10 o'clock tomorrow. Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil. And that will be very effective. But what we want to do is we want to, and again, we don't need it. What we notice and what we see and what I think is maybe my idea, maybe not, I don't know. But there are many boats heading.
What's up, Jack? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning so far.
Toward our country to fill up with oil and then go and take it. So they're not going to go through the Hormuz Strait. And ultimately that'll be corrected. But in the meantime, they're using us. We have more oil because of drill baby drill. We have more oil than Russia and Saudi Arabia put together. So if you look at Russia and Saudi Arabia, two big ones, we have much more oil than they have put together. And what's happening is boats are coming over here, filling up. We don't have to go through the Hormuz Strait.
Can you give us an update, Mr. President, on the two pilots? Are they in good condition? Have you spoken to them orders?
They are in very good shape, and we're very proud of them, the two pilots. Yeah. I think Iran is in very bad shape. I think they're very desperate. We had a meeting that lasted 21 hours. We understand the situation better than anybody, and Iran's in very bad shape. And just so you understand, Iran will not...
Good morning, Chasing Ghosts. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. And let me go and back it up right there so you guys can see what Trump says right there at the end.
And Iran's in very bad shape. And just so you understand, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. Will not have. There is no way that they're going to get. They still want it. And they made that clear the other night. Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. Oh, I don't know. I don't care if they come back or not. If they don't come back, I'm fine. Their military is gone. Their missiles.
So what he was responding to is you guys really wouldn't be able to hear her, but what she had said was, what happens if Iran doesn't come back to the negotiating table? And he goes, well, I don't give a shit. Let me go and back that up a little bit.
Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
Right here.
Oh, I don't know. I don't care if they come back or not. If they don't come back, I'm fine. Their military is gone. Their missiles are largely depleted. The manufacturing capability for missiles and drones is largely defeated. We've been very nice. We haven't ripped down too many bridges. We did one only because they broke their word. They broke their promise. And remember, their promise was that they were going to open the Hormuz Strait. They didn't do it. They lied.
Let's get the likes
they're
up.
Coming up and they're helping. Yeah, we have many other countries.
That will be buying the oil from the United States.
If you guys are on the vertical side, by the way, make sure you guys double tap that screen. I very much appreciate it.
Have you had any talks with the...
Well, you just have to see, but the ships are heading up to our country right now, empty, and they're going to go back filled up with oil.
Why did you attack Pope Leo on Truth Social?
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. He,
Oh, shit. That's regarding the Pope right there. What he just answered.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. He hit us. Think of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear when the ministers and the priests and all of those great people that were arrested during COVID, and in many cases they're outside 10 feet apart, and they were arrested. So we don't like it. We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo. About what? Would you be okay with a third country? Well, that's a very theoretical question. Really, I don't want to answer. Well, they're coming up. They're going to be coming up. But I'm very disappointed in NATO. They didn't do that. They weren't there for us. We pay trillions of dollars for NATO, and they weren't there for us. Remember what I said. NATO was not there. Now they want to come up, but there's no real threat anymore. But NATO was not there for us. We'll see what happens. But, we spend trillions of dollars on NATO to help them. guard really against Russia. When you think of it, we're guarding against Russia. And I've long thought it was a little ridiculous, but we spend trillions of dollars doing it, and I think that's going to be under very serious examination.
It's funny, man. For the people that have been following me and know what my takes on things, it's hilarious. On NATO, I've been saying forever, fuck NATO. You know what I mean? Like, we pay them to basically do nothing. They spend their money, our money, on other ordeals. You know what I mean? And then when we need them, they don't show up. So before we called them for help on this whole thing, and when they said no, for me, that wasn't the whole reason why I was like, fuck NATO. I was like that for years, you know what I mean? This was just kind of like a nail in the coffin. Like, oh yeah, look at us spending $1 trillion and getting nothing in return. That's great.
Thank you very much.
And we're just listening to some comments there from President Trump last night as he arrived back in Washington, D.C. We have this post here from Fox News saying President Trump quoted saying, "I think Iran is in very bad shape."
Yes, we got to get the likes up, man. We got to get those likes up. You guys don't have to like all the craziness that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we're doing here. So I very much appreciate it. We got Tiffany Lance in the building as well. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning so far. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into this next story. Strait of Hormuz blockade just hours away. Now, this is right before, this is just 3 hours ago. The effect, it's already gone into effect only an hour and a half ago. So this is just lead up to it. Now, I just want to see if there's anything, like any major posts from any type of officials in this. I really don't need to hear them speculate about anything because that's not what we're here for. We're here to get the facts. So anyways, let's go ahead and try to see if we can find anything through this. If not, we'll move into, after the blockade has been into effect.
And welcome back to Live Now from Fox. My name is Bowen Kadrovich, and we are continuing to track the latest on developments happening in the Middle East. We're going to take a live look here to the Strait of Hormuz. As you can see there, as we are tracking the latest developments there, we just wrapped up a conversation with President Trump as he was on a Fox News yesterday, really talking about the future of the Strait of Hormuz, as we know that the U.S. will set up naval blockades today. And to talk more about the Strait of Hormuz and how this impacts us here at home, and as well as the rest of the country, the world, we want to bring in Michelle Brohard, Kepler's geopolitics analyst, bringing her back on the show.
What's up, Egg? Great to see you in the chat, by the way.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And Michelle, I just want to start, in terms of gas prices here in America, what are the average prices looking like right now, and what is the trajectory?
Right now, it's right over $4 right now. That's where it's at. It's just about $4.
Average prices are over $4 a gallon now.
Yep.
The trajectories continue to go higher as ships continue to not be able to exit Hormuz, whether it's through the toll booth or through a blockade. It's going to continue to put pressure on gas prices, as well as jet fuel prices, diesel prices, fertilizer prices. Everything is going to just continue to rise higher until we have a resolution to this war.
And then I wanted to bring us out to that live look over the Strait of Hormuz, as this has become a huge topic as the U.S. is looking to begin blockading ships in the Strait of Hormuz. How could we see this affect global oil trade? Do you think that this could help, or do you think that this could cause more issues?
This is going to cause more issues.
I think certainly starting with the blockade, it's going to cause more problems. The blockade is going to prevent ships from going out, whereas at least before the blockade, we were seeing a trickle of ships. We would get like 5 or 6 ships a day, which is certainly low.
Right, way lower than when it was 50 a day. That's usually what it was at before the war.
Lower than the 50 ships a day that we were seeing before the war. But if this can get resolved quickly, which I don't think it will get resolved quickly, but if this can get resolved quickly and the Hormuz can open up freely, then it will help global trade. I think that's the administration's desire, is that this will prevent Iran from being able to control the strait, and that the U.S. will come in and be able to open it up through a blockade. I'm not sure that that's the industry consensus.
Yeah, Egg, that's a very competitive market, by the way.
That's what's going to happen. I think the industry is still pretty convinced that a blockade on a country that is trying to control a strait is going to continue to hinder trade for a very
now that's hilarious 5150
long time. And the Strait of Hormuz is Iran's strongest card in their hand, and I don't think that they're going to be willing to give that up freely. So I continue to expect to see global trade continue to struggle. I think the problem that we're seeing now.
What's up, Time to Stand? Good morning to you. Great to see you. And it's over $6 a gallon. Well, I know there's certain areas in California that are even higher. Just depends where specifically you are in California.
Is a lot of the countries such as Europe, Asia, Africa certainly are now running into like fuel shortages. So you're getting to a point where this is going to become some sort of humanitarian problem if we don't start getting fuels to some of these countries that are running low on just diesel to cook or to run their electric generators. So this is becoming more than just an oil price spike. This is really starting to become a humanitarian crisis.
And what are some of the countries that we are seeing most affected by this? Which countries have we seen really struggle the most?
Yeah, that's.
Oh shit. Taiwan, Thailand, Australia, Europe. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, listen, there's a lot of countries that rely on importing their oil because they don't necessarily have it themselves or the resources to get it underneath their feet. So yes.
Great question. I just saw a note that Tanzania has like 15 days left of fuel supply.
Tanzania or whatever. I don't know if I pronounced that correct, but 15 days of fuel supply left. Yo, just to get to them, to ship to them is going to be, just to get the order is going to be like 20 plus days. If that was shit moving right now. Oh no, dude.
15 days is not very much. And even if, let's say the Strait of Hormuz is opened up tomorrow, it's going to take 25 days to get fuel there.
She said 25 days. I undershot it, I guess. I said 20 days.
So you have Tanzania, you have Indonesia, you have Thailand, Australia. Like some of these countries that are dependent on imports are really struggling. And Bowen, I also want to mention that there are countries that have put in price caps. Europe is one of them, for example. Some of the countries in Europe are one of them. Like Poland has price caps, Hungary has price caps, parts of Germany have price caps. So countries.
Yeah, for me over here in northern Alabama, it is $4. It just hit $4, so it was like $4 and like I don't know, $4.05 a gallon or whatever for regular.
Countries are starting to implement these price caps to try to prevent consumers from feeling the rise in prices. And price caps are fine when there is an oversupply of fuels, but price.
So what she's talking about is there's certain governments that have done quote unquote price caps where they're not necessarily selling it for the price that it is going for. But when you do that and you have basically a limited supply of it, literally, you are limited. She's going to explain the problem with that.
Caps, when there's a shortage of fuels, prevent margins from being strong. So for example, if you have a price cap on gasoline at, I don't know, $30 a barrel, but gasoline prices are $60 a barrel, you're not going to make any gasoline. And so now you're starting to see refinery margins that.
Exactly. So now that's what she's saying is the problem is if there is those price caps, then there's no incentive for them to refine that fuel and sell it. So they just won't.
Are low because of these policy issues that have come into place. So it's not just the blockade, it's also policies that are causing problems that are creating these fuel shortages.
And CENTCOM said it would allow ships traveling between non-Iranian ports to transit the Strait. If that is successful, could we see oil start to transition through the Strait better?
I'd like to see the plan on how that works exactly. The non-Iranian ships, you need a couple things. One, you need the ship to be comfortable transiting the Strait. You need to make sure that Iran doesn't shoot a missile at that ship as it's transiting the.
Or the drones, or they don't hit a fucking mine that's put out there. Listen, these ship owners are not going to risk it, okay? And a lot of the oil that is out there right now has become uninsured. So there is super liability. I mean, imagine owning 2 million barrels of fuel on a ship that at any moment could be subject to a missile or hitting a mine or drones, whatever the case is, right? So these motherfucking ship owners are not playing.
Strait. If we could have gotten non-Iranian ships through the Strait prior to now, they would have been transiting as well.
What's up, Marilyn? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. And I see Jack on his other account. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Good morning.
Well, so I don't know. I don't think that we're going to see it until the ship owners feel comfortable, the ship crew feels comfortable, and that we don't see any retaliation from Iran.
It's true,
And now
Tiffany.
Iran could also retaliate against the U.S. naval blockade of the Strait by directing its Houthi allies to disrupt another critical global shipping route, the Bab al-Mandeb, a narrow choke point linking the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden, which carries roughly 12% of global oil. We got this from a Fox News digital article. What is your analysis on that?
Yeah. So the Houthis are an extension of the Iranian regime, and the Houthis have been relatively quiet. So we've been waiting for the Houthis to enter the war. A couple weeks ago, they said, if you continue to bomb Iran, we're going to enter the war and we're going to start bombing the ships in the Red Sea.
And not only that, but they would also take control of the strait down there in Yemen. Let me go ahead and just show you guys real quick. I know that my audience is really in tune with this kind of stuff, but for the people that are just coming in, so this is the strait right now, and this is marine traffic, by the way, what's happening within the shipping channels and all of that. Anyways, the shipping lanes. So this is the strait in particular down here in Yemen that basically the Houthis run all of this corner spot. This is where the major livable place parts are in Yemen. And they have the capability of also shutting down this strait. And this is basically the shipping routes that go up into Europe. Okay, and so there's major issues with the combination of this being shut down, the Strait of Hormuz, and the shipping route going to Europe, which is right there. So anyways, let's go ahead and get back into what we were talking about here. Give me a second. Oh, and also while I get this queued up, we haven't even done the money part yet.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Last night was their first attempt to strike a ship in the Red Sea. Just as a side note, the Saudis send oil to avoid the strait into the Red Sea, and they send it to export out of a port called Yanbu. The Houthis have access or have the ability to hit Yanbu if that's possible, in which case we
usually the green and like any of the dots are ones anchored or whatever. There's usually smaller boats, and then you have the triangles, which are the actual ships. And usually green shows that they're moving. I'm not really sure what it is with the dots, but with the actual the ships, the triangles, the red is when they're not moving, and the green is when they're moving.
Could lose Saudi exports. And so this relief valve that the Saudis have has the potential to really get hit by the Houthis, and they can close that strait. The Strait of Red Sea, that strait into the Red Sea was closed a couple of years ago, and the U.S. bombed the Houthis to get them to open it up. They do have the ability to do that.
Doomer, are you over there trying to audio troll me? Shit.
I'm not sure if we're going to see them exercise that ability, but it certainly has been on the list of things that the Iranians have in their back pocket in order to continue to hinder global trade.
And when it comes to these European countries, could we possibly see them start to look for alternatives, maybe where they get their oil? We know that President Trump has said just buy from the United States. Could we see a shift in that, or is it really reliant on the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, there's no way to replace 12 million barrels a day of oil. So while
exactly, and she is correct on that.
So the U.S. can't. I mean, it would take the U.S. 12 years, right? I mean, we can maybe produce an extra million barrels a day of oil every year. Certainly, the U.S. is the largest oil producer in the world, but we already send. It's not like we have extra oil lying around. We have extra oil lying around. We would send it to other places.
Well, shit, Cameron, if that's true, I hope that's true. Actually, I would hope that we would utilize our own resource, which we have a fuck ton of.
So they're yes, but if Europe bids up oil from the United States, you know who doesn't get it? South Korea, right? So you can only take so many barrels and
what's up, Agrillapis? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Good morning and happy Monday.
Move them around. It's kind of like musical chairs, right? There's only so many chairs available for seats for people to sit in. So it's more of an issue of there are no alternatives. The only alternative is to open the strait. That's not true. The other alternative is to crush demand. And that's what we're seeing now. So you have all these supply levers that have been pulled, like the SPR, releasing Russian sanctions, Iranian sanctions. But the only other lever to pull is the demand lever. So, and that is you need to get oil prices high enough to kill demand, or you need policy to kill demand. Policy's doing a great job.
And with the gas.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on into our next ordeal here. this just came out 3 hours ago, so let's go ahead and hear this real quick before we get into after the blockade became into effect an hour and 48 minutes ago. Let's go ahead and bring this up, and then we'll get into after the blockade after this.
Joining us now to talk about this even more is Rocky Whites. He is a professor of maritime practice at the Fletcher School at Tufts University. Rocky, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so we have been following this for several weeks now. You've joined us.
And that's also what we've been doing over here on Insane Wheels. Make sure you guys hit that freaking like button and double tap the screen if you guys are on the vertical side. And hit that subscribe button. This is what we do Monday through Friday. And then, of course, Saturday morning is members only. So make sure you guys join up on all of that, especially if you guys have gotten a gifted membership anytime recent.
Onto the program several days following all of these developments. Right now, our eye is on 10 a.m. Eastern time. So in just...
Egg, by the way, listen, I got myself into stacking myself quite a while ago, and I'm super glad that I did. And I'm thinking 40 years down the line, really. I'm not thinking about, tomorrow or a year from now. I'm thinking like way down the line. So yes, I definitely advise you to make sure you get yourselves into some precious metals. Real quick, when gold and silver were kind of going crazy during the recent spikes that we saw, I actually made a graph right here, and it shows the buying power of the U.S. dollar. That's the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar, which is the blue line, as you can see it going down below zero. And then you have gold, the purchasing power of gold over the course of just, 11 months or whatever into the year. Look, or whatever the amount is, probably like 8 months. I can't remember however I set this up. But anyways, you can see the gold line. That is the purchasing power of gold. So anyways, yes, it's a very smart investment, by the way. All right. And don't buy it for to compound interest. To make money in that regard, think of gold and silver as a great way to, it's a great hegemony against the US dollar. So that's the way I look at it. And then you want to make money with your money, you getting yourself into the stock market and shit like that. Anyways.
About 3 hours or so, U.S. military set to block Iranian
What's up, Fidel?
ports.
Good morning.
So, can you explain to us a little bit what's happening right now in preparation for that time?
Okay, well, my eyes are on that too. I think it's going to be a notable press conference then. So what we're seeing unfold is an application of international maritime law, essentially countering the quasi-blockade that Iran has been doing to the Strait of Hormuz. So what they've said is you can pass through the Strait of Hormuz, but you got to come through our territorial waters, which are on the northern side of that. Before all of this started, so before February 28th, most of the traffic passed through what the internationally recognized traffic separation scheme, because the Strait of Hormuz is considered a strait.
Right, he's absolutely correct what he's saying.
An international strait.
Okay, so this is like what he's saying here. It is not necessarily owned by Iran. Okay, yes, there are certain parts that the waters that are owned of within Iran, but the strait itself is actually an international passway or passage. So yeah, it's not necessarily owned by anybody.
For navigation under the UN Convention Law, the Sea Article 34, and that passes right kind of in the middle of the boundary line between Iranian territorial waters and Omani territorial waters.
Exactly.
After the peace negotiations broke down in Pakistan over the weekend, then
I like how he said it, Pakistan. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Essentially, President Trump came out.
You got to be authentic over here. You know what I mean? Shit. You know what I mean? Shit. I got something for you guys, actually. Shit.
Man, motherfuckers talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
True. Factuals. All right, back
with
to
a
this.
very lengthy social media post saying we're going to blockade your blockade in some. And what that means is that there's key language under the law of naval.
Egg, to go ahead and answer this. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Okay, that's just facts, right? So don't be going and buying futures for gold and all that stuff. Gold and silver, if you're going to invest your money into it, don't buy gold. Unless you're, I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell people what they can and cannot do, or something. I'm just going to advise, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. You got to make sure that you actually physically own it. All right, back to this.
Warfare. I can unpack that if you'd like. But essentially, a blockade is a known legal tool. One of the important things is it has to be implemented impartially against all nation states. So you heard that language come out. And we're going to get a lot more detail on what this blockade actually means.
And I have that details for you. Now, let me go ahead and see if there's any developments in this here. Let's go ahead. I'm still seeing if there's any. We do have a post here. Let's go ahead and see what this post is all about.
Responses we've had from global leaders. You mentioned it briefly there within that last answer. This is a social media.
There's Starmer. Shit. This fucking guy.
Bruh. Media post from UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. He says this: the ongoing closure of the Strait of Hormuz is deeply damaging. Getting global shipping moving is vital to ease cost of living pressures. The UK has convened more than 40 nations who share our aim to restore freedom of navigation. This week, the UK and France will co-host a summit to advance work on a coordinated, independent, multinational plan to safeguard international shipping when the conflict ends. And then I also
also
have a social media post.
Okay, yeah, we'll see what Macron has to say here in a second. And egg, yes. So this is exactly why, like, I'm invested in the stock market, right? But I don't make any type of decision making based off of human emotion, which is what the actual market actually reflects. Like 99% of the time, when you see shit go down or up or whatever, that's human emotion. That doesn't mean that the company that you invested in was producing less, or like there was a big CEO change and change of direction of the company or whatever the case is. It doesn't necessarily reflect that. That's why you don't play the market. You got to play the business. You got to understand how they make money. And you got to be thinking as an actual owner of a business. And you're investing in something, and with the companies I've got, I can explain to you how they make money, why they make money, why they're going to be the top. When everything else goes underwater, they'll be having their necks above water. You look for longevity. I play a different game. There's people that play the market to gamble, which is cool. I respect it. There's great money to be made there. But that's just not my style. My style is, like, as a business owner, I understand how the business works. So anyways.
Post from the French president, Emmanuel Macron. It's really lengthy. I'm going to read it sparingly here, but he starts off by saying no effort must be spared to swiftly reach, through diplomatic means, a strong and lasting settlement to the conflict in the Middle East. Such a settlement must provide the region with a robust framework, enabling all to live in peace and security.
Wait, I got a big shout out, man. I'm super sorry for missing this about 4 minutes ago. But Mr. Al Batterson comes in on the Cash App saying, stop the cap for $10, man.
Stop the cap.
I very much appreciate that, kind sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for showing so much love and support to the channel, man. I very much appreciate that.
And then he goes on deeper within this. To that end, all the core issues must be addressed through lasting solutions, whether with regard to Iran's nuclear and ballistic activities, its destabilizing actions in the region, the need to restore free and unimpeded navigation through the Strait of Hormuz as quickly as possible, as well as the need to ensure that Lebanon returns.
Ralph, to go ahead and answer this directly, I don't invest in any type of cryptocurrency at all. Zero. Zip nada. I know that sounds lame. It sounds boring, and maybe it is. Maybe it is, but I don't fucking touch any of that shit. I don't trust it. I don't again, if I don't hold it, I don't own it. And that kind of shit is actually scary to me. So because I can't predict it, and I can't see a long term, like 40 years down the line. Those are, something like that is like looking for day by day kind of stuff. And I'm not interested in that kind of game, but yeah, sorry to let you down on that.
To the path of peace in full respect of its sovereignty and territorial integrity. So I just wanted to showcase that. At the end, he also says, in regards to the Strait of Hormuz, in the coming days, together with the United Kingdom, we will organize a conference with those countries prepared to contribute alongside us to a peaceful, multinational mission, and then it cuts off there. But pretty much got the gist here as to all of these countries are coming together at least to find ways themselves to also be able to secure and ease those disruptions at the Strait of Hormuz. Rocky, though, let's go back to these U.S. military plans and what
we don't need to do that. Let's go ahead and get what we actually have. We have the update 30 minutes into the quote-unquote blockade from the U.S. side being into effect. We have one update since then. So as of 2 hours ago, it came into effect that the blockade on the U.S. side is happening. And 30 minutes in, quote, well, it says right here, Trump reacts after Navy begins blockade of Iranian ports. So let's go ahead and bring that up, and we'll quickly discuss it, and we'll make sure we wrap it up perfectly here.
Until about 1 o'clock. We do have some...
And it's only 2 minutes, 2-minute update. So I got to find somebody to raid during this time. So one moment.
Breaking news here, which is that the White House and President Trump's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz has now gone into effect. President Trump sending out this on a Truth Social post just a couple of minutes ago, saying Iran's Navy is laying at the bottom of the sea, completely obliterated 158 ships. What we have not hit are their small number of what they call fast attack ships, because we did not consider them much of a threat. Warning, if any of these ships come anywhere close to our blockade, they will be immediately eliminated, all caps, using the same system of kill that we use against the drug dealers on boats at sea. It is quick and brutal.
What's up, yo mama? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Good morning. And I was about to raid Black Dragon. Let me know if he's still alive or is he ending.
P.S. 98.2% of drugs coming into the U.S. by ocean or sea have stopped. All caps there as well. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President DJT, Donald J. Trump. We also have this tweet here from Phil
he struggled
Stewart
on
at
that.
Reuters saying, UK MTO says neutral vessels currently within Iranian ports have been granted a limited grace period to depart, as will be specified in the NTM. And then I have this from my colleague Liz Frieden. I'm going to get this pulled up in just a second.
There it is.
There, from Fox News. Breaking: U.S. Navy begins blockade of Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz as of 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Cool, yo mama.
And this from Liz Frieden, who is a producer at the Pentagon with Fox News, saying the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operation posted a formal advisory to mariners that access restrictions will apply to Iranian ports and coastal areas, including the entirety of Iran's coastline in the Strait of Hormuz, Arabian Gulf, the Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, and in the Arabian Sea. Quote, these restrictions apply without distinction to vessels of any flag engaging with Iranian ports, oil terminals, or coastal facilities. That according to the post there. And again, that is from my colleague Liz Frieden over at Fox News.
All right, guys. So I am getting this all set up. There we go. So we're going to be rating our buddy Chatting with Stacks. He's live right now. Make sure, well, he's about to go live. Hopefully he's live by the time we send you guys over there. But listen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Obviously, I know this sounds cliche as fuck, but I truly do mean it. I'm very honored to be able to do this Monday through Friday. And then, of course, Saturday morning for members only, man. We consolidate basically the last 24 hours or over the weekend, the news leading up to current time. And listen, we're able to do that within a single hour, man. And once in a while, we do go into overtime, but we usually try to do a very good job of staying into an hour or so. Listen, I can't thank you guys enough. We'll be back tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. Until then, God bless everyone. We'll see you guys very soon. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burns.